The second reason of why people are miserable, says the Chovot HaLevovot nearly 1,000 years ago, is that human beings, when they come into this world, they are ignorant, like ignorant beasts and donkeys. As the Torah says in the book of Job, chapter 11, verse 12, a man is born a wild donkey. People grow up so accustomed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's abounding favors that these favors seem routine and ordinary to them, as if they were innate, as if they were inseparable from them, as if they were inimitable from them for the rest of their lives. And when their intelligence develops and their perception sharpens, they remain ignorant of God's favors, and it doesn't occur to them that they have an obligation to express gratitude for these things that they have, because they realize neither the magnitude of the favor that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did to them, or the magnitude of the one who actually gave it to them in the first place. What does this all mean? Here the Chovot HaLevovot is literally giving all of us a slap in the face. He's telling us that we're born into this world clueless, no different than a donkey or some form of beast. And we get stuff. As soon as a baby comes out into the world, somebody feeds him. Somebody gives him clothes. Somebody takes care of him. Somebody makes sure that he has a place to sleep that's comfortable, that's quiet. Somebody takes care of all of his needs. Every time he fills up that diaper with a bunch of goodies, somebody changes him and cleans him and makes sure that he stays healthy. If he has a little fever, somebody takes care of him, gives him whatever is necessary to make sure that the fever goes away. If he doesn't eat, they change the food. As he grows up, they give him more stuff. They give him toys. They give him new clothes. They give him all these different things. And the baby just grows up, he's a baby. He's just getting stuff. Because that's what babies do. They eat, they sleep, and they replenish themselves after removing everything that they've gotten from their body. They don't necessarily have to say thank you. They don't necessarily have to really do much. A little peep, a little cry, the world shakes for them. And this little baby is going to grow up and continue getting that. At 1, at 2, at 3, at 4, at 5 years old, at 6 years old, he's going to continue getting this treatment where his parents are going to keep taking care of him without ever having to work for it, sweat for it. Biggest effort that he has to do is cry for it. That's it. And sometimes not even that much. Because the reality is, the parents are already worried about his next cry before he cries. So they already buy the food that he needs to eat before he even asks for the food. They already buy the diapers that he needs to use before he actually even needs to change the diapers. They already buy all the different things that he needs before he even needs them. So the reality is that the crying is not really him crying out, oh, somebody help me. No, it's simply, it's time to change. It's time to fix. Serve me. Now, if we stop doing this as babies, this would be great. But we don't. We grow up with this type of mentality more and more, and a person grows up, and he's 10 years old, and he's 15 years old, and he's 20 years old, and he's 30 years old, still having that same type of mentality that things are just supposed to work out. Somebody's supposed to give me a job. Somebody's supposed to give me money. Somebody's supposed to give me somebody to marry. That's not only I want to marry them, but also that person is going to cater to me. They're going to give me whatever I want. They're going to do whatever I want. They're going to speak to me the way that I want. And in so many words, get to a point where literally this person has this delusion that the world is there to serve him. And when things don't work out, when the car doesn't turn on, when he gets fired from the job, when his stomach is acting up and starts making all types of strange noises and has all types of uncomfortable feelings, all of a sudden, it's like, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. Why is God doing this to me? Ooh, and he has questions of how could this be? Why is this happening to me? How come I didn't get the job? How come I didn't get the raise? How come I couldn't find a wife? How come I couldn't find a husband? How come I couldn't have kids? And he's questioning as if it's supposed to happen. What is it like? The Chovot HaLevavot, Rabotai Yekarim, the Chovot HaLevavot gives us an example. He gives us an example. What an example he gives us. He gives us an example. It's such a good example. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we have to hear it. He says, imagine there was a righteous man. And this righteous man one day sees that there is an abandoned baby. Imagine an abandoned baby. His parents left. I don't know. They left. And the baby is middle of the world. No one in the world can help him. So this righteous man picks up the baby, sees there's no one to take care of him. He sits there with them. Maybe the parents will come back. Waits for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Nothing. No parents to be found. Puts posters everywhere, but he can't stay outside forever. He takes the baby inside, starts taking care of the baby. He has to go buy some baby food. He has to feed this baby now. He has to change this baby. But the parents never come back. In so many words, in a matter of seconds, this little favor has turned into an adoption without all of the politics. He adopts this baby, and he starts taking care of this baby. And now all of a sudden, he has to feed a baby every day. He didn't have to feed a baby yesterday, but today he has to feed a baby. He has to clean the baby every day. He has to take the baby with him to work, because he doesn't have a wife that's going to help him do all this, and he's taking care of this baby. Day and night, he's making sure that the baby has food, is clean, sleeping well. And the baby grows up in this world where more or less nothing has changed for him. Because yesterday he had a parent take care of him. That parent is gone. A new parent replaced him shortly after. Nothing happened. He continued growing into the world. He has food to eat. He's clean. He eats. If anything, he's as happy as can be. Now, the baby grows up, starts maturing. He's at 10 years old. He's 15 years old. He's even at 20 years old. Now there's more than just cleaning and eating. This baby has other stuff. He's gotten toys. He's gotten all types of things that he needs for learning. He's got an education. And this righteous man has been taking care of this baby all this time. One day, the same righteous man finds out that these group of hoodlums have kidnapped some guy and are just torturing him and have turned him into a slave. And he feels terrible about this guy, that he decides to take initiative, and he goes to these hoodlums, he goes to these criminals' hideout, and he says to them, listen, I heard you guys have some slave over here. I'm interested in buying him. They're like, oh, you have money? He's like, yeah, I have money. How much are you going to pay? He's like, well, he's a slave, and the regular slave in the streets is you can buy for 1 gold coin. But since I really need it, I'll give you 2 gold coins for him. It's like, okay, you know what? Take him. What do we need him for? They give him the guy. In reality, he doesn't want the slave. He doesn't want a slave. He wants to free the guy. So he gives these criminals 2 gold coins, and he frees the guy. Now the guy obviously is beat up. They tortured him for a few days. He brings him, the righteous man brings him into the house, and he starts taking care of him. He has a shower, go take a shower, here's some food for you, here's some change of clothes. Now the baby, that's now 20 years old, is watching this whole thing. And he says, wow, look what he did for him. Look what he did for him. How he saved this guy. How he saved this guy from these bandits, from these criminals. He did so much for him. This guy was doomed. This guy had nothing going for him. He did so much for him. He saved his life. He did a lot more for him than he ever did for me. What? That's what that kid thinks. That 20-year-old kid thinks that he did a lot more for him, that the righteous man that adopted him and saved this other guy did a lot more for the second guy than him. Why? Because from his perspective, now being more mature, if you will, he says, look, this guy, if he didn't save him, he would have stayed a slave for the rest of his life. If he didn't save him, they would have killed him. If he didn't save him, he would have been doomed. Nobody else was there for him. So he did a lot more for him. But obviously us, that we know the story, we know that this 20-year-old kid is a fool. What are you talking about? You are in a much worse condition, and in fact, a lot more went into you than could ever go into this other guy. Because this other guy was already grown up. This other guy was already at a certain point of his life. You were at a point of your life where literally you were either going to have a life or not. And the infant that's now a young man, says the Chovot HaLevavot, could not appreciate the magnitude of the favor that had been done for him, even though his perception has sharpened and his mind has matured over the last 20 years. For he had been used to these favors from his earliest childhood. Whatever he got from the righteous man, he figures he's entitled to. He gave him food? Yeah, well, why wouldn't he give me food? He bathed him? Why wouldn't he bathe me? He made sure he has a roof over his head to live in? Why wouldn't he have? He lives in a place like, what's it to him to help me? I was just a baby. Like, he doesn't realize how great the good that he actually already got. And obviously, no rational person will doubt that the love and kindness that was showered upon this infant was much greater in scope and more striking than the second guy, and that this infant is under a greater obligation to express constantly his thanks and appreciation. And that's why the prophet Hosea, chapter 11, verse 3 says, in the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it was I who accustomed Ephraim to being taken up in his arms, and they did not know that I had healed them. Here we see that a person can live in this world simply benefiting from HaKadosh Baruch Hu in every way, shape, or form, and not even realizing how much good he's gotten. Not because he's addicted to other things like we discussed before, but simply because he feels like this is supposed to be the way. What? He created me, so therefore he has to feed me. He created me, so therefore he has to give me working body parts. He created me, and therefore this, and therefore that. And people actually feel like God is just supposed to give them stuff. Like, what's the big deal? Until you see there are people that God also created, but He didn't give them those things. And until you do, and until you reflect on the gifts that you have, you're not going to realize that you are disconnected from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Even if you say, I love you, God. Even if you have stickers on your forehead, tattoos on your forehead saying, I love you, God, you're still disconnected from God. Because you think that God owes you something. You think that God, for some reason or another, is supposed to do all this for you. Because you've become accustomed to it. This is the second reason of why people are unhappy. They don't know how to appreciate the good that they have because they don't realize it's even good. They don't realize it's even good because they figure it's just supposed to be this way. It's like that heretic who wrote a book, about how God needs you and how I didn't ask to be created. That whole mentality of heresy was already addressed by the Chovot HaLevavot over 1,000 years ago. Of how this type of mentality is poisonous to anybody that wants to have even an ounce of happiness in their life. Real happiness, not fake happiness. You pretend you smile while in reality inside you're crying.